Washington, D.C., March 4th, 1933. A spectacular climax in a world of dramatic events. The inauguration of President Roosevelt. Military men marching to sharp commands, while throughout the nation, 13 million buck privates shuffle along in the biggest army of unemployed America has ever known. Panic faced the nation. Uncle Sam was moaning low with a groan on every upbeat. But soon thereafter, the newspaper presses thundered a startling message. U.S. goes off gold standard. Inflation seen as nation's salvation. It startled the world. Inflation. But what did it mean to you? And you? And yous? You didn't understand it then, and you probably don't understand it now. So I can speak freely. To understand inflation, we must understand money. This is a cow. Come on, prove you're a cow. There. Well, anywho, 5,000 years B.C., before coins, the cow was used in exchange, like we use money now. Leaping nonchalantly down the centuries, we find the early American settler using tobacco as a medium of exchange. And so on and on until today we have paper money, silver money, and gold money. That is, some people have. In addition to coins, gold bars are piled up in vaults as security for vast amounts of paper money. And now I'll explain inflation. Inflation is, well, I'll tell you. Let's sneak up on Dr. Gordon Watkins, prominent professor of economics. I may need his help. Howdy, Professor. Lovely weather this morning. Or is it afternoon? Or is it evening? Or is it raining? Anyway, skip it. Let's show the folks your chart, the one that shows how a dollar fluctuates in value. Here we are. From 1926 to 1929, the purchasing power of the dollar remains about the same. Then comes depression and money is hard to get. Therefore, its purchasing power rises sharply. At the beginning of 1933, it's way up here, and the dollar buys 60 cents more than it did in 1926. To further illustrate, in 1926, a dollar would buy a steel pipe this size. In 1933, your dollar would buy a steel pipe this size. That is, if you wanted to buy steel pipe. Personally, I'd rather buy a dollar's worth of liverwurst if I had a dollar. However, to resume, this line represents the cost of living. Since the beginning of depression, the cost of living has been going down, way down. Well, what's wrong with that? The value of the dollar goes up, and the cost of living goes down. That seems okay. But here comes the line that gives Papa headaches. This line represents an average of incomes, wages, and salaries, including millions who have no incomes or only partial incomes. The purchasing power of the dollar goes up. The cost of living goes down. But look how the average income goes way below the cost of living. And that, my friends, is why we've been wearing last year's shoelaces. As you probably know, the first step in the inflation plan puts $3 billion additional dollars in circulation. This will make money more plentiful, hence less valuable. With money less valuable, the purchasing power of the dollar will naturally drop. Therefore, the cost of living will be forced up. Wages will be increased to meet the higher cost of living so that the three lines will beat as one. And then, kiddies, we'll all have noodles in our soup. The drop in the purchasing power of the dollar stimulates immediate buying. For instance, early in 1933, your dollar bought this much steel. With money worth less, if you wait, you may only buy this much steel. So you buy it now, and so does everyone who needs steel. So the foundry starts doing business again, and more men are put back to work. And soon the foundry is up to its metaphorical adenoids in business activity. Now let's see how this affects other industries. More orders for the foundry mean more gasoline for the delivery trucks. So the gasoline companies find business picking up. And the tires of the gasoline trucks begin to show wear, so the tire business gets a break. The lunchroom across the street from the tire plant feels the effect of inflation as the boys start inflating their stomachs with dispatch, if not neatness. And the men from the tire plant are again able to give the brewing industry their substantial support. The owner of the lunchroom, who is dishing out this 3.2, gives the automobile manufacturer a flutter of joy by ordering a car, and so do a lot of others who have been stalling about buying a new car for years. Automobile mechanics get their jobs back. This one hasn't eaten regularly for years. Recently, he fricasseed the wolf at his door. Anyway, he's now about to put $2 down on a two-pant suit that won't show gravy stains. The owner of the clothing store begins to make money, so he has that long-delayed operation performed. Ouch! What a way to spend one's profits. The doctor, seeing improvement in his business, decides to put a new steel fence around his garden. And here we are completing the circle, back in the foundry. The doctor's order for steel and orders from a flock of others like him have speeded things up some more. If all this happens when you buy steel, imagine what takes place when you buy shoes, hats, stockings, peanuts, popcorn, chewing gum, etc., 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 and etc. And now here we are, way out yonder in the wheat belt. We take you here to show you what inflation will do for the man in debt. When it comes to being in debt, the farmer is Exhibit A. Courses. The mortgage on the old homestead will be a-coming due in a few months, and it looks like the farmer will have to try for a new job. As a full-of-brush man. Oh, enter the farmer's daughter, and not bad either. Well, not very bad. She seems to be the bearer of glad tidings. What is it, Ophelia? Let's see. Inflation to save farmer. Cheaper money and rise in prices of products seen. Oh, yeah? Well, look. At this time, wheat was selling at 43 cents a bushel. Then, on the mere announcement of inflation, the price soon rose to 79 cents, and it's still going up. Because of the increase in the prices of his products, the farmer will be able to pay off the old mortgage with cheap money and do this to the villain. Not polite, but effective. By now you've probably thought, that sounds great in theory, but will it work in practice? Well, I wouldn't fool you. Professor, let's show him. It worked before, so why shouldn't it work now? Here's a chart of inflation results in 1861. The purchasing power of the dollar dropped to this level. The price of commodities rose steadily, more than 100%. And look what happened to the stock market. It went up, and up, and up. A pleasure. And now let's see what has already happened since April 17th, 1933, when President Roosevelt addressed Congress regarding the passing of the current inflation bill. Look how the purchasing power of the dollar has dropped since April on the mere expectation of inflation. Now see how commodities have soared in this short period of time. And the stock market? Well, this will give you an idea how it climbed following the announcement of inflation. Well, lads and lassies, it's been tough going, as we say in less refined circles. Old Kid Depression had us groggy for a spell, but we've socked him right on the button with inflation. The wheels of industry are beginning to turn again. Factory owners have chased out the mice that ate the leather belting until bilious. Way down south in the land of cotton, old Black Joe and all his relations will be bending low. In railroad yards, locomotive smokestacks will no longer be the homes for homeless homing pigeons. They're scraping the barnacles off the ships, and sailors will soon again be able to afford a sweetheart in every port. People are beginning to buy more steel, more automobiles, more gasoline, more clothes, more tires, and more beer. What inflation has done before, it will do again. Everything's looking up. Throw out the chest. Get into step. Snap into it. What a man and what a leader. Yowzer. Happy days are here again.